Hey guys, what's going on? Again, I have another DC Mcfarlane review for you, and it is from the, like I've said in the previous video, kind of the old. It's kind of like a review that should have happened a while ago, but I never saw them, so I never was able to review them or get them, or whatever the case is. So, but now I am. Now I am. So. Uh, So if I do a top 10 or 5 or whatever action figures of the year or whatever, this will not count because even though I reviewed it this year, it did not come out this year. But here is the DC Mcfarlane Multiverse Black Manta. Maybe I can get him to stand. But here, before we get into the action figure, here's the box. Standard page puncher's box, at least for the time. I don't know if they're going to keep this, because the Superman one, they did it kind of differently. It was just like a bubble wrap, well, not bubble wrap, but like pretty much like just a plastic bubble. But here, sorry, there's a cat was going after one of my action figures, so I just had to stop her. She's very curious, probably too much for her own good sometimes, but. Here's a box, standard page punchers. On the side you got Black Manta. On the side you got a window. You got page punchers on the back. You got a picture of Black Manta in the comic book. So, like I said, with this wave, this was before they decided, each action figure in a page punchers wave should come with a chronologically ordered comic, so it's a full story instead of just a one-issue comic. With that being said, with the Aquaman ones, they did at least do it where they had different covers. Because I know the first one, it was the same cover. So you were getting, there was no difference. There was, like if you got one, there was no really any reason to get the other, comic-wise. But with this one, at least, you get different covers. So, and this one's probably my favorite out of all the ones that I've seen. So, yeah. But I haven't read through them yet. But, yeah. Let's see. So his other accessories. We'll get the standard boring ones out of the way. You got the standard stand. This guy, I feel like almost could have come with a flight stand, purely because sometimes he has a jetpack, but I mean that's not usually like a main thing, but it would have been cool. And then he comes with a trading card. It's in the page puncher style, so you got black and red. And then you got a picture of it. And you got a bio on the back that reads, "Real name, David Hyde. Considered one of Aquaman's greatest enemies, Black Manta has a singular hatred for the King of Atlantis. Black Manta has always inflicted a special kind of pain upon his arch enemy, cementing his reputation as one of the most ruthless and driven supervillains in the DC universe." So yeah. Black Manta has definitely always been up there in terms of DC villains for me. I'm a big fan of villains who use very advanced technology or just are extremely intelligent in terms of combat. And because if it gets a little noisy, I do have my air conditioner going on, just so you're aware. But I always like those characters. I mean, some of my favorite DC villains. My favorite DC villain is Deathstroke. But I also really love Sportsmaster and Raptor and Talon and stuff like that. So, always a big fan of that. I do love Black Manta. Because even though he's primarily an Aquaman villain, I feel like he works as he can work as a villain for a lot of other characters too. But the more exciting accessories, here is this staff. Is this sick twisted design of the blade. Other than that, it's got some nice there is some sculpting of grips there. Got some red right here showing some technology. Got a point here, and yes, these are actually pointy. They're not as sharp as some other things that they've made, but yeah. And then you got some technological stuff going on all around here. He has one grip hand, but before I show you that, these two blades are not permanently on there. You can pop them off. I mean, they're just a basic blade. So if you wanted to have him only use one blade, you know, maybe he's threatening someone instead of attacking someone. But I would also argue that you could easily use these slots as like blasters. So, but he only has one grip hand, which I don't necessarily like. You know, at least with Aquaman, even though he doesn't have two grip hands, he at least has an opened, relaxed hand. And, you know, so at least you can kind of hold his trident with both hands. But in this case, you're definitely gonna have to pose it with just the one. So yeah, he only has the one grip hand. There's a couple of grips, so you can have the higher up grip. But whenever I've put it up in the higher up grip, it kind of looks like it's a little loose, and it is, but he still holds it pretty well. So in case you're wondering why I just cut to a random shot of me just falling down from the couch, I had to go stop the cat from eating some sort of bug. So, like I said, she gets herself into some trouble. So yeah, obviously love her though, but I think we all are aware that cats can be too curious for their own good or go after things that they shouldn't be going after. So, but he also has the grip down here. Now, you can definitely get some shots of him with this, but I feel like a lot of them are going to be like this, which does actually look cool. But both are a little bit loose, but not loose enough to where it gets annoying. It's just like you kind of notice it. But anyways, on to the action figure itself. Start with the head here. Very modern. Obviously, you got the tubes on the back, and you've got these little, like, there's so much sculpt on here. There's a lot of texturing all over the body here, but you got the red eyes, and got some sculpting on the top too, though you can faintly see it. You got even some sculpting on the neck there, even on the back of it, but you can't see the back of it too well. You got the back. You actually have these little like fins here. In the front, you've got, on the side, you've got like some of these red pieces here. You know, there's a lot of texturing all over. You know, if you get onto the arms here, you got like these shoulder pads. You know, and then you got some red painted all along here. You can barely see it. I'm trying to, where is it? There's one like right there. You got some red there. I think you get some red up here. The other arm is obviously the same as the front one, and then on the chest you've got this little piece here. You got these sculpted like armor pieces over his abs. Texturing here and some different type of texturing up here, and then you've got more metal like stuff, and then on the top you've got like some red pieces here. So then you got a, you know, belt with I guess different canisters or whatever. So, but in terms of articulation, his head does not move up that much, and that's mostly because of the little tubes here. I would recommend to be very careful with the tubes if you're that type of person. Just because, you know, obviously I don't know how durable these are, but I'm not willing to test that. But his head can look that far down. They can turn side to side, and he can tilt. His shoulders go all the way up. His shoulder pad goes over the actual shoulder, and then he's got the usual little dumbbell joint in there. You got a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, usual swivel and a hinge at the hand. You got the upper diaphragm joint and the lower diaphragm joint, which combined allows him to crunch that far forward, that far back. They can it allows him to tilt that far. And they can both rotate independently of each other. His legs kick out about that far, kick back about that far. No really any sort of upper thigh movement. Double jointed knees, but it's going to kind of block it because of the fin there. And you got the typical joint for the ankle where it can swivel. And it can also has ankle pivot. Then it could go down that far, up that far, and he's got toe articulation. For some reason on this figure, I can get his toes to go down a lot, at least on one foot. The other one, I can too. So, oh, and then you got peg holes at the bottom of the feet, which you can obviously use as a stand. But if you have, maybe you want to use it as more of like a, you know, if he's rocketing off or something like that. So yeah. I only have one comparison for you today. I do apologize for that, but I'm just not in the mood to go and try to get others. But let's see if I can get him to stand first. There we go. You got such a presence. Let's see if I can get this guy to stand. But of course, we have to compare him to Aquaman. I'm just going to hold Aquaman up because I don't know if he'll stand. So, they're kind of the same height. Around average, so. So, yeah. But, sorry if this review is a little lackluster. Yeah, so, and then, like I said earlier, so, the blade is going to be obviously facing downwards, so you're going to just slide it right in there, and then there you go. So, but I do actually have a comic to show you, and that is Superman Action Comics Volume 2, The Arena by Philip Kennedy Johnson. I got Volume 1 of this a long time ago, so very happy to finally get Volume 2. So yeah. Other than that, I hope that you get a review soon. I don't know of who, I don't know where. Well, I kind of imagine someone that I might be reviewing, which might be the next one of the other characters in this wave. No, it is unfortunately not Ocean Master. Although I love Aqualad much more than Ocean Master, but I wish they don't have Ocean Master at the store that I'm getting these from, which is just a Walmart. But they have all of these on clearance. So, unfortunately, I will say that it is kind of annoying that you don't have a lot of weapon storage for him. And you might be like, well, you know, Daniel, what about Aquaman? Well, first of all, I think you could kind of slide it in the back of the pauldron here, but it's because, I mean, let's be for real here, you're always going to have Aquaman with his trident. Black Manta, you know, kind of varies. Now, of course, due to the restrictions they have, they couldn't give him like a blaster that you often see him with. But this still works. This works very well. He is a very cool looking figure, and I like him a lot. Obviously, a much more modern take on Black Manta, not the classic take. But so yeah, if you enjoyed this review, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.